Hello again. I'm back at it with this truck, the 61 unibody. Getting Crown Vic stuff put in. Last week I finished getting the Crown Vic front end under it. It's just sitting under there. It's lined up. So now I'm gonna try to get it to where I can bolt it in. Hopefully by the end of the day I'll have it to where I'm bolted in, and then I'll weld everything up and be golden. So right now what I just did when you weren't looking is I painted, I spray painted up from the bottom the 4 holes where the bolts go in for the K-member to hook up to the frame. So my thought is that I'll lift the truck, pull that K-member out, and then that'll leave me a mark where the bolt's going to go, and I'll center that up, take some measurements, make sure I'm good, and then drill those bottom holes first. Probably roll it back in, make sure I'm setting good, and then figure out the top. So what I'd mentioned before was that I'm going to use these pieces that I cut out of the car, and I'm gonna cut into the frame and get those sitting in there. It kind of will take the place of that kit. I'm trying to get this done cheap, and I got the car, so I just cut the frame, cut that section out of the frame. It gives me the pins with the bolts in them already. So anyway, that's my plan. I'll try to do the best I can to take you along. I don't have a tripod. Not that I'm just starting out doing this videotaping. It's a lot easier just to do the work, obviously, and not take time to stop and videotape. But I know for myself, I wish there was more out there of guys that videotaped actually doing what I'm doing, taking the parts and then fitting them into the truck rather than putting the body of the truck on the chassis. It's going to be a lot more work, but I feel like it's gonna be cleaner, and if I ever want to go back or I want to change, then I can. I'm not stuck with this Crown Vic chassis. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. So I'll bring you along today. Alright, this is what I've got. So I've got these things, and so I set them up there like that, and then marked here, and then I cut into here, cut into the top of the frame, and then so those just sit in there, and I don't know if you can see if we can see down through the hole. Barely, yeah, there it is. So I'm sitting real good, and then if I put this thing down, that was noisy, we make it, and just about right where it was before. So, and then I'll weld those in, and like I said, I'll weld some plate here, and I'll weld some plate down to weld this together. So I'll just basically box this in. I'll box in here, same here. I'm gonna eventually box in the rest of this once I get all this tore apart back here. But that is that. So basically I'm gonna get the welder out, and I'm gonna tack weld this in place. And I have this one done also. You can see that the bolts are run through. I haven't buried them up, but they're just holding it there. So I'm gonna weld that in place, and so it's tacked in place, and then I'll pull this thing back out again. That's what you're up against. If you're gonna do this, then you're gonna be mocking it up and then taking it down and then mocking it up. One thing I will discuss, like I said, this is the piece. If you have the car, like I said, I bought the car total, so I'm just parting it out. So I just cut the frame out with these intact, and I'm just using that as my little box. I saw one guy say that if you buy these pieces here and drill a hole to drop them in, lots of people are saying you drill the same size hole and they drop through, and then the bottom of this is flush with the bottom of the frame. He was saying, nope, it's not that way, and it's not even welded in, and I can contest to that because I cut this out of the Crown Vic, and you can see that I have not ground that down. It was not welded to the bottom of the frame in the Crown Vic. More than anything, it's just a crush sleeve, you know what I mean? All this is a crush sleeve for that bolt, to, you know, sandwich the top and bottom of the frame together. And, you know, so long as a guy welds up that bottom portion of this frame down here and gets all that, then it should be golden. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Alright, well, I've got these two pieces tack welded in place. Looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna jack this truck up and roll that back out from underneath there, and then I'll get to mocking up pieces, cutting pieces of metal that I can, you know, weld up and start welding that, boxing that in to make it all one piece and nice and pretty. So anyway, I don't have a tripod or anything like that, so I can't like show you guys as I do it. I just got to do it like this. So I'll probably get one, but not today. All right, I got some of the welding done. I welded along the bottom down there, and then I got these two sides of the top and the back there, on both of them. I still have a little bit left to do. I gotta cap this other side, but I just thought I'd show you what I did. Is I just took cardboard, made cardboard templates, and then I just came over the car and I harvested the metal I needed right out of the side of the frame. So, and then pieced it in, welded it up. So like I said, I got this piece weld in, get that welded up, and then I got to box in the back end of it. You know, once the steering box is gone and that cross member is out, then I'll box in the frame going that way. I did have to cut. There's right back here, you can see it on that side. There was a piece that went in, and I mentioned that I didn't think I was gonna have to cut it, but I did. I had some marks on it, and I did have to square it off there and cut it and get it out of there in order for that box to go in. But not a big deal. Anyway, I'll give you an update as soon as I get that welded up and get it set back down, bolted in. just finished up these welding these brackets up, boxing in the front and the sides. As you might have guessed already, it's not the same day. It's been a few days since I was working on it. It kind of got late on me, and I had an errand I had to run, and so I had to drop things. The place I needed to go to was closing, and I had to book it. So anyway, I got back to it. As you also might have guessed, I got a tripod, so I was able to do the videos that you just watched on time lapse. And then here it is. Here they are, boxed in, threw some primer on, black primer on them, and I'm about to set the truck down on the front end again, and then bolt it up. You know, it's just a mock-up. I still have the back of the lower A-arms to deal with, but that's going to be next week. Anyway, I'll get after it. Well, there it is. Got it set back down. Bolt run through. I don't have the nuts on, obviously, but that looks pretty good. Next thing to do is going to be get rid of that cross member power steering box, and then address those rear lowers. But that looks good. I'm pretty happy with it. It's in there and sitting down, welded up. Still have the backs obviously to address, boxing in the back portion of that. But that's the box, straight from the car, straight from the front of the car, which worked out pretty good. And I have an idea for the backs to kind of do the same thing. Okay, that's gonna wrap up this one for this week. So next week, what I'm gonna deal with is these. I'm gonna get these reclocked. With, you know, they got to be reclocked, and then get a bracket made up to bolt up to the truck. So, and then I'll get this other stuff out of the way, the cross member and the power steering box out of there, things like that. Get that cleaned up. So anyway, if you're enjoying this video, if you like this one, you like the last one, I guess, share it, like it, hit the notification deal, and subscribe to this channel. This is obviously my first go at this, and so far it seems like the first video that I did is going over well. So we'll see. This is going to be a fun project, and it's going to be fun to share with you. So you know, if you want to know how this is going to go, I have an idea to do. I might have, you know, in the last little clip I might have gave that away, but check it out. You know, stay with me, because I did not buy the kit to do this. I'm just using the car, and so I'm gonna make my own bracket and reclock these and get these put in. Hopefully button up this front end, and then that way I can get started elsewhere. I got the rear end to do. I got to get I'll have to, you know, dry fit the motor and tranny in here so that I can get the pinion angle obviously correct. But yeah, so it's gonna be fun. So like I said, share it, like it, subscribe, and I guess there's a bell that you gotta hit. I don't know exactly what that does, but hit the bell, whatever. All right.